Well, I don't think they're necessarily the biggest of secrets, but
No.
but Rook wouldn't know it because of Rook's backstory and your backstory.
What do you mean? I've sailed the whole world. I'm so experienced.
So because Andy's not here.
Oh, is he not? Oh.
Andy said he wasn't able to come, unfortunately. Even though he is in Discord and it has gone noticed. There's a couple of bits I wanted to give you is alongside the information, like the kind of like the session. So essentially, the way the session is going to go is going to be similar to the kind of second or third episode we did, where we're going to start sailing again, and this is going to go between Red Tea, which is the island you just were at, to Salt Root Beck, which I've forgotten existed.
Salt Root Beck, yes, that was the name we didn't have last time. Cool.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so we were at Red Clay.
Clayport in Red Tea.
That's the one, yeah.
I mean, some islands will have more towns, but these are all sort of like smaller Diddy islands.
Gotcha. Very cool, very nice.
So, that's the kind of journey you're going to be taking. Well, let's just do a quick recap. Joe says he's going to be late, so I think we should probably kick off regardless.
Cool.
So, Dave, would you like to give us a recap of what happened last time, and Jack can fill in your blanks?
Yeah, sure. Well, the most important one is, I'm guessing we bought this pin that's above us.
Yes, you did.
Let's start from the end.
Of course.
Is it on the map? Wait, where?
It's in the general chat.
Oh, yes.
That was actually a really good drawing of it.
It took a few fucking prompts to get that. I tell you, it did not know what an enamel pin was for a long time. Yeah. It was struggling.
But
Esports logo had many of them.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why it was struggling with that wording, but we got there in the end.
Yeah, so last week we started essentially in a kind of bickering with Alara about making a hole in her ship, even though we didn't do it.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely wasn't us, I don't think. But anyway,
no.
she still needed us to repair it, preferably for a cheaper amount than what we would probably get quoted for. We arrived. Was it Red Tea? We arrived at Red Tea, and then managed to barter the ship doctor. What's the ship doctor called?
I thought you meant Barty for a second, because he is your ship's doctor.
Oh,
shipwright.
You mean a shipwright?
Shipwright, yes, the shipwright. We managed to barter with the shipwright to essentially
Mrs.
find
Brick,
out.
I forget her.
The Bricks tea. But yeah, to essentially find out what was happening with one of their competitors' tea to make them so much more preferred compared to their tea. After much back and forth and drinking Alara's teas, well, it wasn't everyone.
It was mainly Pan.
Yeah, Pan did all the drinking.
We pushed that on Pan.
Well, food stuff usually is Pan's realm.
Yeah, that was his weird.
I mean, it makes sense.
Although we did find out later that if Eli had taken a sip, he would have immediately known what was happening.
That's just the way some things fall. But yeah, so we were able to tell. Well, Pan was able to tell there was a difference, but not quite put his finger on it. So we decided to go and
something slightly addictive.
Take a look around at this competitor farm, and essentially found
Terry,
yeah, and not Jerry.
Not Jerry. Not a competitor. His brother Jerry that we found out.
Yeah. But we found that Terry was actually quite warming, like warm welcoming, really.
No, Terry was the mental case, not in the nutcase.
Oh, it's the other way around.
Jerry
was it?
Yeah. Jerry was the he was also not well.
He was a bit
Jerry was
mental,
quite
but
mental.
he was more.
He was the tea brewer.
Well,
the other
to be
one was
fair
the one who
to
made
Terry, we didn't.
that made the tea out of the random stuff for sure.
Yeah, Jerry was much more open to showing, well, me and Pan, Eli and Pan, the wares and the methods that he uses to make the tea. Which is surprising because I'd have thought he would want to keep it more of a secret, but
I don't think he was all there.
maybe he didn't want to even give it. I get the impression he didn't actually care if it was a secret or not. He was just kind of doing it.
Yeah.
And it's just like no one had bothered to ask him, so he hadn't told anyone.
I mean, to be fair, you also didn't ask him.
No, that's exactly. Case in point. But then we managed to find out that it was tobacco.
Yep.
So we got the discounted price. And then we used the extra money to buy the pin. And then found out that we were probably better off going for a different pin.
Yeah, then realised we actually have to use some information that we have. But
Yeah.
hey,
We can't just buy stuff randomly and it will go up.
Yes. So
you never know.
I've thought long and hard about this part to the coast situation. Because now we've put it into the game, and I'm fine with it being in the game, but now I actually have to think about it. So I've created a database, and not necessarily rules, but concepts and ideas. So thank you for that. I will say that whilst you're at sea, since you have the portfolio book, that doesn't necessarily have like information on what kind of the pins are and like how they're made or anything like that. You're aware they exist and they've got a certain amount of rarity to them. You can spend some of your time as you travel studying that book, and you'll glean more information about what would constitute something as rare, what would constitute something is not rare. How to spot kind of like the certain editions of pins. So you'll get better and better as you go about spotting something that is worthwhile. And then as you get to like you progress through certain like thresholds of getting better at determining how good these are, you'll be able to like immediately understand what pins values are by looking at them essentially.
Oh, okay.
So just like any card game or anything like that, you'll get better as you kind of start.
But do the pins, are you making it so the pins value changes when you go to different places and stuff, or is it like
I probably will, but it's gonna be more like a D&D thing where you want to upsell it.
You've got to persuade it. Yeah.
So if you want to kind of do trading, that's a common thing as well with these pins.
Oh yeah.
So you could kind of like upsell and trade, and then you'll definitely find people who will be interested in these.
Oh yeah, I suppose because some people might be more interested in 3 swords or sword pins rather than something else that's, even if it's more valuable, they're like, yeah, but I want this.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah. More intrinsic personal value.
Exactly.
And I think that's
less intrinsic, more personal value.
Who's buying the pins?
I think we could find a sword master who likes pins.
You did see the person who sold you the pin jet ski off into the sunset.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, very quickly. Yeah, even though he has a shop on this island.
Yeah, true. He's got a ridiculously long commute.
Yeah.
Awesome. So that's kind of where we left off. So what I'll say is that it's kind of coming up to the close of play of the day. The sun's setting, and you'll kind of retire on the ship, and you'll set off in the morning to Saltroot Beck, which is the kind of final destination for you guys on this journey, as discussed with Laura Pumpkin ever since you set off from Okuban. So there's just the one ferrying passenger on this ship, this leg of the journey, which is Castilla Breeze. And because Captain Barty is not here, Vice Captain Rook, I will need your assistance.
Throwing him overboard. I'm the captain now.
Yeah.
Barty is below deck. He's had another heart attack. His throat's closed up, so he's going to take a moment to kind of sort himself out.
He definitely wouldn't be seasick.
No.
It's just a heart attack.
Yeah, it's just a heart attack.
He's definitely not spying on anyone.
Yeah, true. Can you roll me 2d6, please?
I can indeed. Oh, a story of opposites there. 1 and a 6.
A 1 and a 6, so 7. And I have to do maths quickly. Later. And then can you roll me 1d6 again, please?
Yeah. Not so graceful 2.
2. Sorry, I'm going to do some 4, and then another 1d6, please.
Boom. Another 1. This doesn't bode well.
Let's see.
You get out of the way now.
Yeah. Deciding what we're encountering today is where I want to get out my bad rolls.
Okay. So, can you then roll me 2d20s, please?
Of course. Boom, boom. We add up to a dirty 20 with a 7 and 13.
7 and 13 is actually what I need. Thank you. 13, and then this is... Can you do it again for me?
One more. Reroll. An 8 and a 2.
8 and 2. Cool. So, you kind of get up in the morning. Pan has made you a little bit of a breakfast, as he usually does. He loves his access to the kitchen. You currently have in your possession, by the way, so just so we're all aware, Father Marcellus's notebook. So somebody's got that.
I asked to take that.
We've also got the pin notebook.
Yep.
We've got
Big Barty does that.
We've got the transponder snail with the cool sunglasses.
I don't mind who has that.
And then we've got 2 pins, which is the 3 swords and the skull with crown. Someone's got those. So
I think because the pin book is such it's our biggest value, like it's our prized possession, really. I think whoever is captain, it should remain in the captain's quarters with the captain.
Sure. So it'll remain in the captain's bunk, the hammock.
Yeah.
That's kind of where you guys are sleeping.
Whatever safe, the safest place we have, if we have a valuable safe, then great. If not, then under a pillow.
Yeah. It's currently under a pillow in Barty's hammock. Yeah. Is there anything else I'm forgetting that you guys have got?
Devil fruit?
No.
Oh no. No, we don't have that yet.
I think actually
minus 1 of Eli's guns.
Yeah, so we got minus 1 of
we
Eli's.
are -1.
Minus 1 of Eli's guns. Actually, I think we've got Roderick Double Pint's mace as well. I think Barty has that. And I think we've also got Roderick Double Pint's turkey leg.
Oh yeah. We still have a bone lockpick as well.
Yes, that's what that is, yeah.
Oh, I see.
So that's okay, just so I'm aware of what you guys have got. Cool. So you wake up in the morning. Pan has created this wonderful breakfast for you, as he usually does. He's not here to kind of tell you what it's like, so we'll just assume it is experimental, strange, but filling.
I reckon it's really spicy after our super encounter. We've all just got a taste for it. It's been in the air.
It's for sure shakshuka or something like that. So he makes that, and then Alara Pumpkin will kind of tell you. So we're heading to Saltroot Beck, which is Castalla Breeze's next stop, and I'll tell you now that it is where I've kept my
Shipyard?
yes, my ships. It's I'm from Saltroot Beck, so this is where my house is, and I've got a small private port that I use to keep some of my older ships there. They're in a bit of disrepair, but they're seafaring mostly. I've had them around for 20 or so years. So,
what are they? Ex-pirate ships?
Yeah. So I got them. I got them at Navy impound lots. So when the Navy defeats some sort of pirate or takes them hostage or whatever on land, obviously their ship is in dock, and the Navy has very standardized ships, so they won't repurpose the ships. So what they'll do is to kind of fund the Navy, they'll sell them to impound lots, and so I picked up a couple of those ships. So you'll
Bad deal.
No, yeah, you can get them pretty dirt cheap, and considering they're pirate ships, they're very well loved. I mean, they've taken a lot of damage occasionally, so you have to kind of get them repaired somewhat. But no, pirates tend to, the ship is the heart, one of the parts of the crew, so they take care of their ships very well. It means the ship is their life.
And these pirates, are they now dead?
Oh, yeah. Or they're at the Navy prison, which name is escaping me at the moment. But yeah, they're at. Oh no, I know the name of the prison.
Is it the one we know that never?
No, that's
that's the vault.
What are you saying that to Alara?
No.
Okay. You don't know that is whether or not it's you don't know what kind of facility that is.
Yeah, we've heard in the book it says it's a vault, so I don't know anything more than that.
Yeah. Where are my ideas? Island ideas. Quickly. Oh no, did I not write it down? Oh, no, I did write it down. Where are you? Oh, you know where I wrote it? I sent it to Laura.
Where?
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's called Dante's Tirith. So Dante's Tirith is the major Navy prison. It's relatively new in compared to a lot of Navy kind of strongholds. It's only like 50 or 60 years old. Its predecessor was unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, depending on whose side you're on, was essentially nuked. So it no longer exists. But that one's called Impel Down. But
you spent any time there yourself, have you?
What are you asking me? If I've broken the law or been caught by the Navy doing so?
Well, I just either, I guess.
Look, we've been sailing for a little bit, and it's come up a couple of times. Yes, I am an ex-pirate. I have spent a bit of time on the Grand Line, which is why I wanted that book back, which Robert Doublepine stole from me, and it's got some of my keen memories on there. Some of my friends did perish in Dante's Tirith, but I had a good old time on the sea, a little bit in the Grand Line. You're planning on you want to be a group of pirates, a pirate crew, don't you?
Well, of course, and I also want to go to jail.
You want to?
Not for long.
Sorry, you want to go to jail?
Well, just for a
What's-
bit, and then I want to break out as well.
What sort of jail?
Well, this Dante place sounds pretty good.
I would say that they had a prison known as Impel Down, which was infamous for being anybody who went in never came out. It was guarded by, he would have been an admiral at the time, and after somebody eventually escaped from it, they caused a revolt and escaped from Impel Down. They nuked it and set up a next facility that was impervious to escape, called Dante's Tirith, which is
So you mean
why
it hasn't been done yet?
Which is why I would recommend that if you can avoid doing so, don't get caught and sent to Dante's Tirith.
No, of course not. I wouldn't get you like very obviously.
I just kind of shake my head like, oh,
So
gonna be the end of me.
So have you been to the Grand Line before? I assume that's where you're heading after Salt Rubeck.
Well, I think so. I don't. I've never been, but I've read a lot about it.
Oh, aye.
Yeah, it's where pirates make their names. It's the place to be.
Well, sort of. I mean, the success rate on pirates. Look, pirates are viewed in this kind of jovial way in the kind of the four seas, northeast, south, and west blue. But pirates have a very low survival rate on the Grand Line, which is why they find it very adventurous. They want to be that kind of 10% who survives. But it's 90% that don't. The Grand Line is very dangerous, not just because the Navy patrols it so, and the islands are harsh, but the sea itself is incredibly dangerous. Me and my pirate crew, we survived maybe a year, and I lost half my crew on the Grand Line, and I went and did some piracy back in the East Blue because it was, if I'm honest, more my speed. But the memories I made in the Grand Line are excellent, but I wouldn't necessarily say it was the easiest time of my life.
We can do you proud in that regard, then. Maybe.
I see potential in you for sure, and that Barty's got a real knack for sailing.
Yeah.
But you just need to make sure you keep a strong head on your shoulders.
Of course.
And as you're talking, so this is kind of like the first day or so you guys are sailing out. As you're talking, a bird flies down on the deck. It is a seagull that's wearing a little hat, and it's wearing a necklace around its neck, and it's got a little map tube on it in its neck. And this is a news coup. So this is the company which brings the news across the seas. So Alara will pay the news coup and then take the newspaper and kind of look at it briefly and say, "Oh, that's not the greatest news, I would say."
Why? What's happened?
What's happened?
Well, so do you know how to get to the Grand Line from the East Blue?
West?
Well, technically the Grand Line is directly south of us, but the problem is the sea is split up into the 4 quadrants, right? The world is split up into 4 quadrants. So on a horizontal, the Grand Line is essentially a sea on a horizontal line around the equator, going the whole way around the Earth. And splitting the Earth vertically is the Red Line, which is a giant cliff face, mountainside, which goes around the Earth vertically. So the sea is split up into quadrants. The Grand Line is surrounded by a north and south barrier called the Calm Belt. So the Calm Belt is as wide as the Grand Line is on both sides. And what happens there is no wind. So
No wind at all.
there is no wind in the Calm Belt.
How do you sail?
Row?
You don't.
Oh.
You don't. If you get stuck in the Calm Belt, that is certain death without a way out.
Right.
Why can't you row?
You could theoretically row, but would you be able to row this entire ship yourself?
Fair
Saying
point.
we need a crew of rowers.
You theoretically would need a crew of rowers, yeah. Now,
Oh, we don't have that.
no, but that's not the way you get to the Grand Line. Lucky enough, there is another way. You don't cross the Calm Belt. The reason they say it's a journey is because all of the pirates and traders and anybody who wants to get into the Grand Line start at the same point, which is at the beginning of the Grand Line, or half of the Grand Line, called Paradise. So,
Sounds delightful.
well, no, the first half of the Grand Line is called Paradise, and then the next half is called the New World. Paradise is a somewhat ironic nickname based on the fact how dangerous it is compared to the other four seas. So let me know if you have any questions about this, but it's tough to explain. But the reason I'm concerned, given what's on the newspaper, and she slams the newspaper, is that the way you get to the Grand Line is through an island in the middle called Reverse Mountain. Now,
Is it a big dip?
it's hard to explain Reverse Mountain. It's honestly easier for you guys to see it, so it'll be your first test to see whether or not you even deserve to get into the Grand Line. But what Reverse Mountain is the gateway to the New World. Now, obviously the Navy is very scared of pirates entering the New World, so they've set up a Navy base at the start of Reverse Mountain. And it's been there for a while, and because of the need for merchants to go back and forth, it's been a pretty loose gate into the Grand Line.
I see.
It looks like that might not be the case anymore.
Oh.
So she hands you the newspaper.
Better or worse?
I wouldn't argue better.
It would make it harder to get there, yeah.
I will send you
It was a loose
this.
gate before the Navy base was made there.
So this is the article. Jack, if you would like to do the honor.
Who wrote it? Is this like Navy propaganda?
No. This is part of the News Coup. So it's relatively independent newspaper. It's pretty on the money most of the time.
Okay, BBC style.
Yeah.
Surprise promotion leads to reverse island lockdown. In a not-so-shocking turn of events, Navy dispatches confirmed fast-track promotion of Lieutenant Balto Musher to captain after a short tour of the South Blue. While some argue his lack of experience, there is no argument to how heritage might have played a part in the role of securing this early captaincy. Captain Musher is known for strictness aboard his vessel and has taken the attitude straight into his new posting, tasked with reducing the number of pirates entering the Grand Line. He has been given charge of the Navy base at Reverse Mountain, NB-62. This has led to the controversial order to lock the gates so that no vessels, pirate or otherwise, are able to enter Paradise. Locals on the island of Stanhope have expressed concerns for their livelihood as they tend to the vessels journeying to and from the Grand Line. One resident, who was asked to remain anonymous, stated that this is classic nepotism, leading to decisions that won't affect them, just everyone around them. How are we supposed to trade with the Grand Line now?
Thank you very much. So it looks like getting to the Grand Line actually might be a bit of a struggle. at the moment. So I don't know if you'd want to wait for a couple of years before you try again. I'm sure.
I can't wait a couple of years. I've already done my waiting.
Well,
We'll find a way.
Yeah.
It can't all be closed.
Well, a closed door is just one that hasn't been opened yet, I think. Look at this. Look, even the people on the island think that this is wrong. We could break through that door, burst it down, kick it through, and show those people on the island that the pirates are the ones to be cheered on. We could become heroes.
No, now you're thinking like a pirate.
You mean I wasn't before?
Well, sometimes I just wonder if you have the stones for it.
I have plenty of stones.
I mean, he wants to end up in jail.
Yeah, and get
No.
out again.
That's not a glowing admiration of what you want to do. I'm just saying it might be a bit difficult, but you guys have shown.
Difficult schmifficult.
I'm gonna ignore that. You guys have shown pretty good aptitude for sailing around. And look, we're on this final leg of the journey, and if there's anything you need to ask me whilst I'm here, I've got some experience with the Grand Line.
Well, you certainly have shown that much. What's it like? How did you get into it?
How did you get out?
I don't want to know that.
Well, my original ship was capsized whilst I was there. So the way I got out was actually through the Calm Belt, but it was on a Navy vessel. They have tugboats, essentially, which have got propeller blades, those big wheels.
Yes.
And they occasionally go through to journey people out. But they're few and far between. So actually I didn't go back through Reverse Mountain. But it was an incredible experience. I lost a lot of dear friends on the way though. And I couldn't lose any more. I went out looking for adventure and I found it, but I'm looking for a bit of a quieter life out here.
Ugh. Well, you can't blame me for wanting more. You've already seen it, and
I don't
made
blame
your
you for
choice.
wanting more. I wish I had the stones that you claim you do to want to go back, but it's a tough one. It's not the easiest journey, and you're fighting against other pirates who want to become king of the pirates, who want their own have their own ambitions. The Navy, who want to stop you at every turn. I mean, it's part of the fun, but it's definitely something that wears you down. Well, it wore me down.
What do you think, Eli? I think you make a pretty good pirate.
Me?
Yeah? Do you not?
I mean, we've barely been tested.
What? But what does your heart say?
I mean, I don't see why we can't be good pirates.
That's the spirit. And well, Barty's done it all before, and Pan.
His bad luck
he's
is
older than I
bound
thought
to
he was.
return. Pan is older. He's more wiser than we thought.
Yeah.
Barty's,
to terms with that.
as far as I'm aware, never been to the Grand Line.
Maybe that's where his good luck is.
Yes, maybe.
Exactly. Well, I think we're well on the way. Now, this Reverse Mountain, have you been? You have gone through there before, I imagine.
Oh, everybody has if they've gone to the Grand Line.
So, have you gone since its more recent how would you call it? Takeover. This new rule. Well, the ruling is today, I guess, but
But by Balto and Washer? No, I mean I'm finding out this out today. I mean when I went past it, there was no navy base at all. Now not only is there a navy base, but there is somebody who's locked all the gates.
if you were in our position and you were a more pirate-spirited, young, free individual, what would you suggest we do?
I think you got the right idea.
That settles it.
Well,
you're partially to blame for this. If we do die, you better give us a good ship.
All my ships are good ships. You may need to take them to a shipwright that can fix them up and make them pretty, but they're all named and named.
You've already seen we could get a good deal there.
Do they, like, when you're getting these ships, do they do, like, a background check on you or anything, or...?
On me?
Well, I'm assuming you're buying it from the Navy after they've... So they're just happy to sell pirate ships to whoever?
Well, they do a check similar. So, do you know how bounties work? So, when you're a pirate... Yeah, when you're a pirate and you interact with the Navy, or the Navy, your notoriety increases such that the Navy notice you, they'll put a bounty out on your head. Now, when you go and collect a bounty, they do a background check to see whether or not you have a bounty, so that, you know, pirates can't turn in other pirates and they can take you both in, essentially.
Can you turn in yourself?
No, because you'll have the bounty on your head and they'll do your background check on you and find out you've got the bounty.
Oh. I see, okay.
So then you'll be straight to Dante's.
Oh.
So same way there, right? They did a background check on me, but I was confirmed dead in the Grand Line when my ship went down.
Oh.
So
well,
technically,
sorry to hear that.
It's fine. I got over it quite fast. So technically, my my pirate name isn't necessarily one that I want to speak of, but I won't speak of it here just in case. But you know, Alara Pumpkin wasn't necessarily my birth name.
I see. It's also strange. Feels like things are happening right in front of us, and well, I certainly pictured for a long time what it would be like saving a sea and being a pirate and doing it all, but I didn't necessarily picture it quite this way. Did you ever the things with Father Donovich? No, what's his name?
I don't know why I can't remember this guy's name ever. Marcellus.
Oh, Marcellus, yeah.
I can never fucking Marcellus Wallace of Pulp Fiction. Okay. Why, Father Marcellus? What was his business on the boat? Where was he going in the end?
He just paid me fair and said, I'll go where you take me. He just seemed to appreciate wanting to go around the seas and listening to people's stories. I mean, I
see.
I confessed to him, but clearly I didn't make it into his book.
No?
Maybe he just keeps it for, you know, the bigger stories he wants to keep.
Well, he seemed like he was trying to fill up on old stories as well. He hadn't quite got a grasp on all of them. I don't suppose you'd met him before, had you?
No, but there was tale of a man who would go around listening to you. You know, if you're a pirate, you're supposed to be a kind of a feared individual. There's not really somebody you can get, you know, much off your chest from. Same with Navy, to be fair. So, you know, some people sought him out to kind of get stuff off their chest, really. But he would just travel around, so you'd have to kind of just know where he was at certain points. But I've been out of knowledge of what's going on, really. I mean, the only information I get recently has been the news coup.
How do you receive news coup? Once we have our own ship, we won't have yours anymore.
Oh, they'll turn up, and then you just give them a short payment. The birds aren't very bright, so it's around It's around 5,000 berries, but you can get it down to 1 pretty easily.
1 berry?
1,000.
I was gonna say that's a massive reduction.
Wow.
But yeah, they'll fly around, and you'll get them, and you'll get the newspaper as long as you say you what's it called? You pay them. If you try and steal it or hurt one of the birds, you'll never see them again, though. So be careful.
That makes sense. Well, that's certainly of interest, I feel. I don't know what it's going to be like once we have our own boat. Who's going to be the captain?
I mean, I'd probably vote on it.
Didn't go well last time.
What do you mean it didn't go well last time?
Well, I didn't win.
You came second.
Second's just best loser. Second's not going to get us out of jail or get us past the reverse mountain.
I mean, it depends. First might be the one in jail.
And I must say, Barty has taught me a lot.
He's a powerful pirate, that one.
Definitely has the most experience.
I don't
pirating.
know, Eli. You seem quite the experienced individual.
Yeah, but not in pirating. He's definitely got more experience in that.
What were you doing before?
Oh, it's just a merchant.
Oh, death merchant.
A death merchant?
Yeah?
Well, you know, you've got to be able to protect your own ship.
I don't know what that means.
I mean, you've got to protect your ship from pirates and anyone who wants to take your
I
stuff.
thought that was like a metaphor. I see. Yes. No, certainly. Have you always been good with guns? How'd that come about with mercantile?
Well, I mean, you just kind of fall into it, don't you? Really, like, and like I imagine you fell into pirating. It's just
No, I
cool
tried
you
really hard to get into it for a long time, and I've only just managed it.
Yeah, I've always had a good eye for shooting things.
What was your home like?
My home was in the east sea. What is it? Sea? Is it called seas? Yeah,
Blue.
east. Oh yeah. Oh no, sorry. From the south blue. Oh yeah, my home was in the
South
south
blue?
blue.
I don't think I've
Yeah.
ever been there.
We're in the east, aren't we? Yeah.
You are in the east.
Okay.
I think I'm from the east. Let me just double check that. Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure I started.
But yeah, it was a. I mean, it was a typical, normal kind of island.
And never gone
Palm
sailing before?
trees. Hmm?
Never sailed before?
Before what?
Oh, before you met all of us?
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I've been on a ship before.
Hmm,
It's part of being a merchant.
I see. You weren't just a merchant on land.
No, no, no. I mean, it'd be pretty hard to be a merchant just on land. When the whole world is just islands.
I know even that pin seller had a jet ski.
You've got to be a good seaman in this world.
The best seaman win. Well, if you were a merchant, perhaps you should keep the pin collection. Maybe give the book a look over. I don't know.
Yeah,
You're
I'm happy
familiar
to
with
have a look. I didn't
buying.
really specialize in pins.
What else did you sell?
I mean, everything but pins. My understanding is they can lose their value quite quickly if you're not
Really?
careful.
Lara, do you want to buy a pin?
No, no, I don't.
Have you ever bought any pins?
I've had to give them up.
I picked the wrong day to quit buying pins.
I had a collection of original sets. Don't make me think about it, and they're worth a fortune now.
Were they on the capsized one?
The what? Oh yeah, that's essentially my treasure that that went to the bottom of the sea. I gave up piracy shortly afterwards.
So where did your boat capsize with all these pins?
We'd really like to know.
It was in the middle of an earthquake in the middle of the sea, where the ocean opened up. Like there was a canyon of ocean, and then we had to kind of either jump across it or it was sucking us in. So that was a normal experience on the Grand Line. Unfortunately, our boat didn't make it, but some of our crew survived.
All those pins weighing it down.
Yeah, I think a kilometer drop from the ocean level to the ocean floor that was just a crevasse about a mile wide, like a couple of kilometers wide was the problem.
Just think, a few less pins.
You might have made it.
I think about it every
made the
day.
jump.
I think about it every day. Hello, Joe.
Ah, Pan's here.
Hello.
Hello,
Evening.
Pan. How you doing? You're good?
Yeah. How's everyone?
Not too bad.
All
Not
good.
too bad.
We've just been discussing with Alara the like her past basically, and talking about the prison.
Getting some tips.
And there is a passage to the Grand Line that was like the used passage called Reverse Mountain, or at Reverse Mountain, which has just been kind of like fortified, and there's been a blockade on all ships going through, an embargo. So we are discussing that, and Rook is fully taking it as a challenge, and not listening to anything else, but sounds like a good challenge indeed.
So what exactly is the challenge to Rook then?
So Max put it in Discord. It's the new kind of naval leader in that area has basically been like, no ships are getting through whatsoever, pirate
As
or
in-
otherwise.
The challenge is for you to get through. Is that what you're saying?
Oh yeah,
Oh right, fine.
yeah. Get to the Grand Line.
How far away from the Grand Line are we?
Who you asking? Me or
Well, I
Lara?
mean, I'd ask Alara then, I suppose. How far from the Reverse Mountain actually are we then?
From the Reverse Mountain. I wouldn't say too far. When you get to Saltroot Beck, you've only got a couple islands before you're at Reverse Mountain, so not too far at all. How close you are to the Grand Line, however, is pretty close. It's only south of us a little bit, so but as you know, it's impossible to get through that way, so there you go.
Because something has been done before doesn't mean it's impossible.
Well, I wouldn't say it's impossible, but I would say the only person who has control of it is the Navy.
Party who survived his 7th stroke today.
Are you sure we shouldn't check on him? Maybe it's the wiring in his eye that's doing it.
Well, I think as long as we don't check on him, he might have survived, and we can kind of rest a bit easier that way. Otherwise, he might actually die.
Yeah, if we check on him,
he might actually be dead.
Yeah, the longer we don't check on him, the better it is, I think.
Oh, Pan, this breakfast is lovely. Remind me what it is again. If Joe's there, you cooked us breakfast, but we just decided to wait for whatever you wanted it to be.
Sorry, I'm just dealing with something right now. Give me a moment.
it's fair.
Well, I think as Captain is busy potentially dying, that leaves your wonderful assistant captain in charge.
I believe the term's vice
Assistant
captain.
Vice captain.
So what made you want to be a
vice to the
pirate
captain.
anyway? If you don't know that it's vice captain.
What? I didn't
What
know
made
it.
you want to be a pirate?
What do you mean? Why wouldn't I want to be a pirate? My parents were both pirates. They're the coolest
Oh.
people I ever knew.
Were they? What was their bounty?
Just so you guys both know, the second in command for a pirate ship tends to be the quartermaster. But you know, if you just carry on.
You say I'm worth half what Barty is. I detest that. My parents' bounty. Well, I don't know specific numbers. It got too big to count.
All, whilst we're having these conversations, sorry, can you all just roll me savvy checks so I've got them in hand?
Oh dear.
What my worst one?
Savvy.
Surprisingly, Rook is not good at talking.
Well, parlay's about talking.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's my worst one. Savvy, not too bad.
10.
Cool.
Oof.
Hold on, I'm just loading up.
Also
I'll,
10.
I'll match your
Oh,
oof with my oof.
No worries.
I got 7.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna message you all separately though.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, you can continue on.
So they had a big bounty.
Yes. Why do you look surprised?
I'm just wondering. So what? If they had a big bounty, they'd be quite famous then.
Well, yeah. Well, I think they're quite famous. But well, they were away a lot. I don't know what their pirate name was. It's like Ilara here.
They would keep it secret, I suppose.
Yeah.
I suppose I may have met them.
Did they have their own ship?
Yes, and a crew.
Did they have their own cook?
I assume so. My mother even went to the Grand Line,
Ooh.
Ooh.
I think. I heard a lot about it from stories, but I have no reason to doubt them. Why would they lie about that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Why would you lie about anything?
Yeah. I look at Eli.
I look back.
And looks at himself.
It looks in a pan reflection.
So are you like trying to find them then, or?
Well, I
You
just want to kind of make my own stories. I've heard a lot of stories about them, but it's
You want to make your own now?
exactly. I think it's a coming of age kind of thing. I've been wanting to come of age for a while. But I never had my own ship. I never had the means. So the first ticket out of that place, I took it.
What was
But
stopping you before? What means did you need?
Well, my grandmother.
So did you kill her?
No, but she did die.
Did you leave everyone alive, Pan, when you left?
I did, but they weren't stopping me.
Well, what was stopping you?
No one.
Really?
I didn't have a ship at first. That was my issue.
I feel
Plus,
that.
no one
Well,
takes a boy seriously when he wants to go find a ghost pepper.
that is true. Before all this Grand Line talk, we need to take it step by step. We need our devil fruits.
Yeah. Isn't that what we're doing? Kind of. I mean, we're obviously
way to
partway there. We're not on the right
Well,
island yet.
no, not yet. But we'll get our ship, and then we'll get that devil fruit. And once we have the power of gods, we'll be primed to head to. Well, I think Reverse Mountain would be my my vote. The quickest way to the Grand Line and to victory, and fame and fortune, and that shipwreck of pins that was swallowed by the ocean. I
Hey.
know we'll find it.
A single tear streaks down Laura Pumpkin's face.
But until that day,
Cool. So, as you're saying this, Alara will kind of look discerningly at the sea and say, "Oh, there's something might be something on the horizon we might have to deal with. Do you mind taking a look for me? Barty is below deck, isn't he? So, Rook, you're up."
I rush over. I like grab the telescope off the table and rush to the deck, and I look in the direction, and then probably Alara comes up and points me in the actual direction. You're supposed to be looking.
I'm gonna drag you into the captain's quarters. Hello.
Hello.
So, there are two things, one port and one starboard side of the ship, that you can see due to the rolls earlier. So, as you can see here, where are they? Through the spyglass, you spot a jagged line of rocks just below the surface to the port side, stretching across the water. Waves crash against the reef, and you can see the sharp outlines of coral rising menacingly. The other thing you can see is on the starboard side, ahead you spot the unmistakable silhouette of a navy vessel cutting through the waves, its flags flying high. The ship moves with purpose, and you can see sailors on deck scanning the horizon. You have to pick one of these two things to move towards.
So, sorry, the second one was a ship full of sailors all looking around.
You spotted the unmistakable silhouette of a navy vessel cutting through the waves. Its flags flying high. The ship moves with purpose. You can see the sailors on deck scanning the horizon.
And on the other side, apologies.
Through the spyglass, you spot a jagged line of rocks just below the surface, stretching across the water. Waves crash against the reef, and you can see the sharp outline of a coral rising menacingly.
Okay, got it. Do I decide now or relay back?
This is kind of a you decision. Usually it would be between you and Barty, but if
The
you
rocks.
wanted, you could drag in one of your other crewmates to kind of fill in that role.
No, the rocks.
You choose the rocks.
No way Rook's going anywhere near the Navy.
Okay. Fair enough. I will send you back then, and then we can make that decision together.
Cool.
Or it's like some
Dread.
other guy, and there's we for the place we're buying, we've had to get a structural engineer involved. So he's been talking to me loads, and I'm just like, I just want to turn off for a bit.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's just like too much.
Are you buying
Too
a new
much.
place?
Too long. Yeah, we like from like literally Christmas Day. Vicky was like, "I'm gonna throw something out there," and I was like, "Okay." And she's like, "It's gonna be crazy," and I was like, "Fine, give me crazy." And then she was like, "I found a place. I want to move in." I was like, "What?" Anyway,
take it back.
Undo that. Belay that.
Well, yeah, and then essentially we had the chat, and she, we got our old estate agent who sold our flat come in, and he was like, "Oh," literally walked in and was like, "I've already got 3 people before I even put it online who will want to see this place," and I was like, "What?" And without a word of a lie, we put it on, like put it online on Boxing Day. Like literally got put it on that next weekend. We had 3 viewings and 2 offers.
Ah.
And then so we put the offer in the place she likes, which has a garden office that has a shelf, which is perfect for my Lego and Warhammer, just saying. And also separate from the kids as well, ideal. But yeah, so yeah, we're probably probably move there by April if all things go well.
Oh, that'd be very exciting.
Damn.
But yeah, I was just
Yeah.
saying to Dave, just like tonight's been horrendous because my kids have been ill. I've like had the whole day dealing with all these people, and like they're so ill that they're like falling asleep, coughing, waking
Oh,
up.
bless.
Because they've fully fallen asleep, coughed and woken up, they're then really upset, and you basically have to reset the whole like night again and be like, okay, we're going to start again, read all the books, do the stroking, put the music on, go back to sleep, and then you coughed again. Oh, for fuck's sake! And it was just that. So like, I came down and then I had audio issues where you guys were cutting in and out. So Jack, whatever you asked me, I was like, I don't know what you said. I know that you've directed out my character, but I need to sort out my audio first, which I think I've had issues with anyway. Like with Jack and Andy on Marvel Rivals, my Discord has just been like up to the
All I said
wazoo.
was, we were wondering what Pan cooked us for breakfast.
Oh, really important job.
Yeah,
Probably eggs. I'm gonna say eggs. You got eggs.
Oh yeah, nice.
To be
you
fair,
go.
we said shakshuka, and I was like, that has eggs in it.
Oh, shakshuka. I love shakshuka.
We're like, after the sea monster incident, it's probably something like we're all
No,
really on board with something spicy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say shakshuka probably wouldn't be on the plate because I wouldn't have enough chili powder for it.
Rude.
Oh yeah,
No, we didn't
we're
start- we didn't
craving
start.
spice.
We haven't
isn't any?
restocked yet. We haven't restocked.
Oh, we didn't even fucking look for any on the Red Tea Island.
You're all gonna starve at sea. So probably
Oh,
like
we
very
no
much-
longer on the island anymore. Oh yeah, of course.
We very much they very much had one kind of produce.
And it was tea and coffee. Oh no, it was just tea, wasn't it?
And tobacco.
Fuck, they did not want coffee, no.
It's tea or tea and tobacco.
Which, if I've heard a description of coffee, is as perfect as anything.
Yeah, to be fair.
But yeah, no, we are
okay.
sailing away.
So
Rook returns
yeah.
below deck with the telescope and says, "Right, I've decided where we're going.
And that is
Towards
Where?
a coral reef and sharp, jagged rocks."
The
isn't that
rocks.
It was the only way, I'm afraid.
In the whole sea.
I've never sailed, so that's fine by me.
Well, I looked left and right, and I decided to steer a little bit more towards the coral reef.
He really doesn't know pirate speak, does he? You mean port and starboard, right?
Sorry?
Port and starboard? No?
It's a bit early for alcohol.
Okay. I mean, that's not what my grandma would say, but okay.
Actually, you're right. We're pirates, of course.
She said, she always says something like, it's 5 o'clock on the Grand Line somewhere.
You would be right.
And well, the other way had navy. And I don't know about all of you, but I certainly did not want to be.
I mean, we're
in
not
Navy
pirates yet, but
Well, if we want to be pirates, we've got to act like pirates. We have to be scared
fair,
of the
fair.
navy.
You got to get good habits.
Okay.
Practicing.
So you rush up on deck, and in front of you, you see what appears to be kind of more shallowed water, and
Oh yes, and I came down to tell you without steering.
yeah. And Lara's like, "Who was steering?" She runs up, and as you approach the reef, the water becomes choppy, and the ship begins to sway with the waves. The jagged rocks loom ever closer, their sharp edges glistening ominously beneath the surface. The sound of crashing waves grew louder, and you can see bits of broken hulls caught in the coral, remnants of ships that weren't so fortunate. The crew tenses, knowing that one wrong move could spell disaster. You have mere moments to decide how to navigate through this treacherous maze. So, how this is going to work is, Jack, can you roll me 2d20s and give me the lowest roll?
Oh god, I don't like the disadvantage. 3. The other one was much better than a 5.
Okay.
Nice rolls.
So you only have to survive 3 rounds of this.
Okay.
That's
oh my god, that's so much
lost
better.
our first round.
So that's not too bad.
Imagine fucking 2 20s.
Yeah. So we're gonna have the same rules that we applied during the race for determining the wind's change of direction and adjusting course. appropriately. So, which is where the wind will change direction on a 1d2 starting in a particular way, and then you will have to use your judgment to determine the wind's direction, and the better you roll, the more specific you'll get in terms of the direction. And then you can adjust the sails to kind of control the ship. Essentially, if you don't control the ship well enough, in there you would just lose speed. In here, you're going to slam into the coral reef. And that'll damage the ship. And the corals do a lot of damage to the hulls. So the ship has 400 health. Each time you slam into the corals, it'll deal 60 damage.
60?
60, yeah.
Okay.
So you want to not slam into the corals very much.
A lot of damage.
And the other members of the crew who are not steering, you're able to kind of assist in terms of pointing in the right direction. Maybe if there's anything you're like trying to spot the corals underneath the water, anything else you can possibly think of to kind of assist with this. Adjusting the sails. If you can think of it, let me know, and then we can determine how that changes the outcome.
Eli, give me a gun.
Yeah. So.
I stare at you with sharp eyes.
I jump over the edge.
Straight into the corals, you take 60 damage.
No, my other hand.
Okay. Where is Albo Rodeo? Where have you gone? There it is. Right, so I have to roll in secret now. Okay, so who is steering?
I feel like Rook is really trying to take on this captain role, so is feeling himself behind the wheel.
Is it going to be substitute teacher, or is it going to be person stepping into the shoes of their manager and wanting to do really well?
The second one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the second one for sure.
So Rook will step up to the.
He has prefect energy, I would say.
Yeah, well, Percy from Harry Potter.
I'm a prefect.
Yeah. And Eli and Pan, what do you guys want to do to help out?
One of us look out. One of us change the rigging.
Yeah. I'm just checking what my stats are before. Yeah, I could.
Wait, what was Barty doing last time? Was he?
He was on the.
He was steering.
He was on the steel.
I thought no. Oh, was he?
If one of you.
Last time I remember Barty, he put himself up on the crow's nest. Yeah.
No, on the
race
pirate
he
race,
was steering, and I was doing the.
Oh, fair.
I would say that if you're doing the rigging, obviously you want to kind of. There's going to be a bit of a payoff here, right? So if you lower or raise the sails, it'll have different impact. So you're currently fully sailing at full sail because obviously you're trying to get to somewhere, and you've got 3 rounds. If you sail at full sail, you'll still have 3 rounds. If you sail at medium sail, you can add a single round on, but you'll theoretically be able to get a little bit of advantage there. And if you sail at low sail, so the sail is kind of mostly up, so you're not getting much movement, you'll have to add on 3 rounds of possibly doing this again to do that. So it's up to you and how you want to kind of adjust the sails and
What do you want, Vice Captain?
Who's the vice captain? I'm the captain.
No.
What?
Barty rolls in his
Captain is
hammock.
below deck.
He's probably dead. Anyway, Pan, you get on the what is it, sails and rigging?
Yeah.
Are those the options?
Yep.
Eli, get on the ropes. Pan on the sails. You seem more maneuverable and can climb, and Eli has big, strong arms.
That's fair.
Okay. So the wind is up, and on this round we're going to start with the full sails because we've not been able to do anything else, and so we're just going to start it flat. You are careening towards the corals, but you can sort of see a path through, possibly. with good adjustment and good judging of the wind, you'd be able to get through this unscathed. So,
Easy.
Rook, can you roll me either a savvy or an acumen check to determine what direction the wind is at? I would say,
think they are
as you're
both the
aware,
same.
an average roll would be around a 9.
Well, 9 is average. Okay. They are the same dice. I think he is going to rely on acumen just for flavor, I guess. This is stuff he would have read about rather than done. That's a 6 with a nat 1 on the 12.
So the direction the wind is facing, it seems blustering to you. You don't really understand how Barty really could tell the difference of the wind. It seems really hard. So you can determine the wind is heading.
I lick my finger and keep my finger in my mouth.
Yeah. The wind is heading either somewhere between north and southeast.
Which angle?
What?
The smaller?
Do you mean north to southeast?
North to southeast, from like north, north, northeast, east.
Oh yeah. Okay. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4 different options. Is that right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll. We're going east.
East is almost the correct direction. As you can see, the wind catches the sail in slightly the wrong way and pulls the ship slightly to the east when it should have been going northeast. And if there's nothing you want to do with the sail to kind of reduce its speed, so if you reduce its speed, it'll take less damage, but you'll add on another turn.
I think reducing is good.
So it's up to Eli and Pan.
I say I want to reduce the speed.
You're gonna reduce the speed.
Yeah.
So you want?
Well, either way. I think, to be fair,
Vice Captain, what's your orders?
So reducing the speed to medium.
Oh, sorry.
We'll add another turn at the end, but it'll half the damage. If you reduce the speed to like full, it'll quarter the damage. So it'll go from 60 to 15, but you'll add on 3 extra turns. Sorry.
I think you see Rook kind of turn, and I think probably you Annie, like, can see that he's like half right. Like he's not doing bad, but he is quite clueless up at the top and just having like the time of his life turning the wheel almost randomly.
I'm gonna turn to you and be like, Eli, and just gonna be like, reduce speed. Let's reduce speed. Let's reduce speed.
Both.
Both good.
You'll be able to do this every turn essentially, but you reduce the speed. So the ship slows down as it catches the wind, sending it into the kind of almost the right direction. So the ship takes 30 damage, which is half the damage because you reduce the speed.
And it's 140
health total.
Yeah.
400 health total.
400. Okay. Thank God. We
Cool.
can deal with that.
So next turn, I'm going to roll in secret.
Got 3 left.
No, you got 4 left. We just added in an extra turn.
Was that a turn?
Oh, sorry. That was the first time. You're right. We got 3 left again. Sorry, you are correct. Thank you. Let me just this. Okay. So roll me an acumen or a savvy check as you kind of adjust to the wind again.
That was just a practice. I knew I was slightly off. Just testing your reaction speeds, boys. That's a 4.
Okay.
Oh, why am I rolling so bad?
Because you're learning.
You are learning.
It is telling the story. I must
I
admit.
need to get a compass up. Honestly,
What did he need to get?
I need to get a compass up.
Oh right, yeah.
This is a
I had
cup of sup.
Yeah,
like,
a cup
what the
of
fuck is
something.
a cup of sup?
Okay, you rolled. You think you're getting the hang of it. The kind of wind adjusts slightly, and you think you've caught it. So you adjust the sails, or you think you put your finger in the air, and you try and determine what's going on. And it's
Cold
somewhere
today.
between north and east, from west to south.
Somewhere between north and north. Is
Yeah.
the wind
So
even going any
you know it's not northeast, but it's somewhere else.
Cool. So what's that? 7 different options. I think he turns east, sees that he's kind of like gone a bit too far for the northeast correct turning, and then like overcorrects quite a lot. We'll roll a d8, re-roll 8s. North, then northwest, then west. He goes straight west, full like 180.
You
Can in seeing him flapping about on the wheel,
yeah.
What do you mean? I
Can
got
I,
it
like-
exactly.
run to the stern to see like what's ahead of us?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can see that you're kind of in a rough column of coral at the moment. There seems to be kind of like a swirling path through it, kind of meandering through. So it looks like you might be able to go. It looks a little bit easier to the port side, so on that west side. But you'd have to kind of navigate the boat using the kind of the wind to be able to do that. So if you want to try and help him with the wind directions, I wouldn't necessarily say this is it, but you can you can try and help.
I'm assuming west is wrong.
The wind catches, well, it doesn't really catch the sails. You turn the sails into the wind, and it doesn't really catch at all. And it sends the boat straight forwards into the kind of next set of.
Brilliant. Was it
fucking-
east?
I'm not going to tell you.
Damn
It wasn't those though. It wasn't west at the very least. So your ship is going to take 60 damage unless you want to decide to lower the sail. Or raise the sail, sorry. Or do you want to just take the 60 and tank a turn?
I think we tank turns.
Yeah.
So the ship has now taken
tank hope.
90 damage, nearly a quarter of its health is gone.
Solid.
As you can feel the coral reef scraping against the edge of the underneath the boat, and it slams. You know, this is a big bit of damage. You can see it raise and go off kilter slightly, and you definitely know that there's going to be some water down below that you're going to have to try and clear out.
Oh no! It's going to wake Barty up. He's going to come and tell me off.
He's definitely going to be in a waterbed by the end of this. Okay.
Oh, I've pissed myself again.
Damn that stroke. Okay, so this is turn 3 of 4, I think.
Okay.
Is there anything you guys want to do to try and help Rook out with the wind?
I think Rook, his smile is kind of fading a little bit as he realizes he's a bit in over his head, but he's stubborn.
Okay.
I don't really know. Think what can we do to help?
Yeah, I was gonna say we can slow down, but I guess that also
shoot some of the coral ahead of us.
If you had cannons, I
Chip
could give
it
that
off.
as an option. I would
Just
say that
fire
you
into the
could
water.
probably think of a few ways that you could help him determine what direction the wind is blowing. Rook appears to not be having the greatest time figuring out which direction the wind
We're
is.
in control of how we're doing the rigging, so we can control basically where the sail goes, right?
Yes, that's true.
So could we look and see which way the wind goes, and then try and adjust without him telling us?
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to just give Rook the job of literally just steering through the
Yeah, make him
coral.
feel like he's still captain. But
Yeah, exactly.
take charge.
Well done, Rook.
Yeah. Give me an acumen roll or a savvy roll. Do you want to do it as well, Eli?
I'll do a savvy roll.
Yeah.
I'm going to hold down to really get those clickety clacks. Clickety
Where is
clacks.
savvy?
Oh,
13.
no, it's so good.
That is good.
Oh,
And that explodes.
Oh, nice.
Oh
We
my
both get
God.
13. Oh,
Rook
there you go.
sucks.
So you get
So,
18. You get 18, I get 13.
Holy
So
moly.
after giving him his turn, we both nodded at each other, right? And we just readjust all our rigging. They really get the full flow of the wind against sails.
After he slams into the corals, you exchange a look, which is like, what the fuck? And you suddenly start taking control of kind of the direction of the sails manually via the rigging and the ropes. You both realize that the wind has not changed direction since last turn. That is, at the very least, narrows it down. And Rook gets a Rook would definitely get it this time. But you have determined that the Pan, you would know that it is either southwest or south, and then Eli and Rook, you would now know it is south.
Okay. South, boys! Don't worry. I just, my hair was blowing in my eyes. I couldn't see where the wind was going.
that's a clue.
What are your ship jobs, by the way? Because Pan is the cook.
I'm the navigator.
Yeah, I thought that was correct.
You're the navigator.
Yeah.
We're screwed.
I'm the lookout.
And you definitely saw your navigator slam your ship into a bunch of coral reefs.
Shad, look out.
So you're finally able to escape from the coral reefs that final time. You caught the wind in exactly the right way. The ship responded in the way you expected it to. The ship is a kind of masterful creation between the sails and the rudder. So if you don't catch the sails in the right way, the rudder actually won't turn in the way you expect it to, because you're trying to determine the speed you'll catch from the wind, the direction the ship will actually be pulled by the wind itself. So it's actually really important to get them both correct. So you're able to finally get out of the coral reef itself.
I think we have one more turn, right?
No, that should be the fourth turn, wasn't it?
Is that the fourth?
Oh no, that was the third or fourth.
Third turn.
Yeah, you're right. You got a fourth turn. Sorry, you've got to go through this one more time. So I gotta roll my dice one more time. Okay. Conveniently the wind has changed direction, so at least that's good. Okay. And Rook, you would think that the wind is somewhere between
15.
Oh, okay. You would know that the wind is either east or southeast. Eli.
Well, it can't be east again. He got me the first time. No, it wasn't east. I thought it was east. East!
Eli and Pan, what are you doing?
Just because he got it right, I'm still not gonna fully. Actually, that last time I think got Pan some confidence. I think I'm just gonna follow and just start rigging up to east.
Yeah, he said it with enough confidence.
I think I think Pan will swing quite easily in these situations. So
So based on solely Rook's confidence in their ability to get the wind direction correct, even though 2 out of 3 times it has not been the case, you guys listen to your vice captain and set up the rigging to go, was it east? East, which was a 50-50 chance to get it correct.
It is east that you shattered, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you set up the rigging to go east, 50-50% chance. The ship is currently taking 90 damage. and watering is pooling in from the bottom of the ship. The wind catches the sail, and easterly direction it was, so it will bring you out of the coral reef.
Oh, that's good.
Well, I think when you started listening to me, it worked well. I don't think he's that stupid. I think I knew what I was doing. It was just God, that coral came out of nowhere, didn't it?
Yep.
Yep.
Caught me completely by
Can I-
surprise.
Mm, mm.
Can
Well,
I go look at the new porthole that's been installed to see if it's still there?
Yes, the new porthole has been installed very well by Miss Brick and or Mrs. Brick, and that's still absolutely there. However, you are trudging around in about ankle deep worth of water from a new porthole that's been ripped into the side of the ship. On the other side, coming into the cargo hold.
I'll shout.
it's like an escape hatch.
We're gonna need some buckets.
I'll grab the nearest bucket and give it to Pan and run down.
So Rook doesn't have a bucket. Pan has a bucket.
Quickly, Pan!
What?
We got to, I don't know, a bucket for something?
Who needs bucket?
Eli said to bring a bucket.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna very slowly just like walk towards Eli.
I'll just kind of like point at the water.
Like, here's a bucket.
The water
It's
is
not supposed to be
now
in here.
slightly above ankle deep now.
Oh dear. I will.
What do you want a bucket for? There's a lot of water. My bucket's not going to take all that water.
Start bailing.
How is Barty still asleep? I lift Barty out like I lift his hammock so he falls out.
You see Barty just floating on by him, sounding down the hallway.
I'll get his hammock and start kind of using it as a large pail. So, well, we need to fix the hole as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Good job,
okay.
your captain there.
I guess I'll use my bucket. I'm going to start trying to bail the water.
I take the wood from the bucket and start making a patch.
So as you go into the cargo room, you see there's a kind of like a break in between two wood planks that seems to be caused by the coral slamming into its side. So this would be on the port side. Oh, this would be on the starboard side. All the boat was the other way around for a second. So you can see water just gushing in from that hole, and it appears to be coming in quite fast. So are you going to try and block it up? You need to kind of find some sort of kind of wood planks to kind of do so.
I think so. This is. Oh, perfect. Yeah, I'll go to Father Marcellus's room as well as the botanist's room, and just start like kicking at the beds to try and like break them up for planks.
Absolutely.
Take the sheet off, take the mattress off, just check for any money that they dropped, and then start just rapidly disassembling the beds into some sort of usable material.
Yeah, absolutely. Give me a toughness check.
Uh-oh. Toughness? Yeah, I'm not that tough. That's a 6.
These beds are sturdy.
Eli!
I'll walk in, see what he's trying to do, and then kind of start doing it and be like, go get a hammer and some nails or something.
Yes, hammer and nails. Where would that be? Ilara!
Aye?
Don't come down, but do you have a hammer and nails?
Why?
A bed's broken.
Oh, doesn't seem that pressing, but yeah, there's some repair equipment in the prow of the ship. And they kind of
She's definitely shouting down and seeing Pan
Pan!
running up to the top to throw a bucket of water out and running back down with a bucket.
Just throws it up the stairs into her face.
she rubs your head. Oh, you knucklehead. Is there a hole in my
Pan!
ship?
There's the prow!
We just fixed a hole in my ship. There's not another hole in my ship, is there?
And I'll be running up, being like, "There's water on the ship." I'm run back down.
Jesus
As
Christ.
Pan's running by, I go, Pan, where's the prow?
Go to the front.
The front. I run to where Pan thinks the prow is, and where Rook doesn't know where it is.
I'll start trying to break the bed apart.
Give me a toughness check.
Oh dear.
No!
Wow.
No!
It's a tough bed.
Break my arm.
Your
Look at
arms,
bed.
your arms flex against the two planks of the bed, and you're like, your arms pop with, the muscles just and the veins popping out of your head. These beds are sturdy AF.
Damn. I don't know what kind of ferry this is where they don't want the beds to break, but
Eli, no, sorry. Rook, you are, where are you going to go? Are you going to go up to the forecastle, or are you going to go to the room below the forecastle?
I will go to the room that I would believe the supplies will be in. I think it's this one, I'd imagine.
Correct.
Go in, look around for hammer, nails, tar, things like that.
Sorry, I mean eating some chocolate. Yeah, absolutely. In this set, you'll find some hammer, nail, tar, and tarp. That'll help as well. Somebody's been playing fishing trawler.
I've got all that.
So
Find angler gear.
Pan is running up back and forth on the deck with a small bucket, trying to bail water out of it.
Mitigate some of the water damage.
Yes, true.
Time.
That's all I'm
unfortunately,
imagining.
it's not doing enough work at the
Single
moment,
bucket.
considering the hole is there and it's just you doing it, unfortunately. So the current level of water is up to kind of mid-calf, and the sip is slowing down. But Rook, you've got the stuff. Eli, you're struggling to pull this bed apart, so you're desperately hoping for Rook to come back, or you want to try again before Rook gets there to show you. Actually, I didn't need this stuff.
I'll kind of like jump on it to kind of almost break it. At this point, like not trying to keep the planks necessarily as one either. Just like I just need to break the bed.
Okay. Give me a toughness check then.
That's better. 17.
Yeah. So, frustratedly, you put down the bed, and then you just jump full weight onto the bed. And the kind of the bedposts snap under your pressure. They're long enough that they'll still work somewhat, but they're definitely broken planks.
I'll just kind of
Rook, you appear at this moment.
Hammer, nails. What first? Oh, you've broken it.
Yeah, it was easy.
Well, can we use any of this wood?
Let's go find out. I'll just kind of like gather it up and run to where the hole is.
Yeah, absolutely. So the hole's literally like here. So you can see kind of a gushing hole there. And have any of you repaired a ship before?
Hell no.
Did any of you see what Brick was doing?
Nope.
I might have been involved in like
patchwork. Give me an acumen check then. Give me an acumen check.
Acumen.
I think I read about like what you're supposed to do, but all the names just didn't mean anything.
8.
There's definitely a preferred order of putting these things together and putting them into the hole and fixing the hole, but you don't particularly know what it is. But you know that the the pitch and the cloth is actually pretty useful here.
Right. Well, we got everything.
We've got the right things. Anyone else know what? Anyone know what order it goes in?
Well, if you wanted to keep pretty, the wood is on the outside. So first, but then, how do you get that in with the water? Maybe the tarp first, or the tar?
I mean, wood on the
Nails is
outside
definitely
makes.
last. Otherwise, you're nailing in nothing.
Yes.
I'm going to try and tar the linen, the tarp. Cover that like you would spit out gum into its wrapper,
Mm,
and try to like just glue it over the edge, glue it on it.
absolutely. So you've got this bucket of tar, and you're gonna dip the cloth into it, and then you're gonna stick it into the holes, kind of like finger in the dike kind of decoration. Yeah, that's exactly what you're supposed to do with ship holes. So that's perfect. So clearly your training has gone well, or learned training. So the pressure of the water is going to be shooting inwards. So you want to cover that up with the planks after you're done.
Right, I'll hold this here. Eli, do you want to get the hammer?
I'll start hammering.
Absolutely.
Can't hold the nails.
Can you give me a luck check, Eli? Considering you broke the planks, it's going to be slightly harder than usual. So I would have said that you've got 4 planks. You need 2 of them to work.
53.
I was going to say you have to get at least a 50 on each of the planks. So that's 1 plank that's kind of usable that you've got. So now if you could roll me another luck check on the second plank.
34.
That plank is too broken. So you got 2 more planks to use.
I'll just throw it to the side in frustration. 79.
That'll do it. So the pitch plug sticks into the hole, but you can feel it coming out because the water pressure is quite high. So you want the planks on top of that. So you're going to nail in the planks, and then that covers the hole, and then should stop the leak coming through. Obviously, this is a patch fix. It's a shame it's the kind of second day from port, but hey. Hopefully this won't come loose a second time. But yeah, you seem to have fixed the hole in the boat. Now you've only got the kind of knee-deep water to deal with.
I'll just
go get some pans to help pan.
Slather Barty's hammock in tar and just kind of stick it on top.
Yeah, Barty's still in it, just attached at the side, stuck against the wall.
I think I'll actually kind of like grab Barty and point his face towards the window and like squeeze him so that he spits out water, and then put him back and just use him as a bucket.
Yeah, actually, if you kind of search Barty, you can see that his arm, his second arm, functions as a pump. So his leg sucks up the water and it pumps out his mouth. You just have to go in an open window, and that'll just straight up do it.
Swiss Army Barty.
Yeah, Swiss Army Barty. Yeah. No, it takes you a few hours to kind of get the water level down to kind of back to the floor, and then mop it up to be the kind of the right level. And now the kind of rooms are wet. Instead of Breeze's stuff is somewhat ruined on the floor, because if you remember, she had lots of draped items that were kind of around, and she wasn't necessarily the cleanest person. So
oh shit! Yeah, there's another person on the boat still.
Mm-hmm. You got one.
Are they still on the boat, or did they like get knocked off?
They got sucked out like an airplane.
Roll me a luck check, and if you roll below a 5, then you're knocked off the boat.
I believe that's the vice captain's job.
Yeah, that's true.
No, you don't want me rolling luck checks. Okay. That's a 55. I saw the 5 first.
She is somewhat happily playing her violin on the forecastle. So she's seen you all panicking around, then it's like, yeah, this is fine. They seem to have it under control. Like, what am I going to do?
Oh, thank you for the music while we repaired.
You're very welcome. You seem to have it under control in some fashion.
But you're going to say vote of confidence there, but music, yeah, that's another thing.
Well, keeps us motivated.
Yeah, especially if we weren't going to make it. If you could have kept playing, that would have been really nice.
What, and go down with the ship?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily on my bucket list, but you know, it's definitely something that all musicians have talked about.
Well, I mean, you could have. Speaking of bucket list, you could have grabbed a bucket, but luckily we did have it under control, didn't we?
I saw you grab a bucket and immediately give it to somebody else.
Well, I'm the captain. Delegation is the best part of management.
I'll just kind of lean over and be like, Vice Captain.
Look, I'm sorry about earlier. I thought I could handle it, and I know the sharp rocks and coral and everything weren't ideal. No, we just fixed the hole, and now we got another one. But and you're right, we're not really pirates yet, so going towards the Navy wouldn't be too bad. But I don't know.
Sometimes you just got to do it with confidence, even if it is wrong.
Yeah, well, my grandmother used to say strong and wrong. She said I was definitely one of them. But I guess I need a bit more practice. But I mean, we're alive.
I'm glad we're alive. But did you put another hole in my ship?
Okay, look, we didn't put the first one in. That wasn't our fault. This one was our fault. And this one is, yes, we put another hole in your ship.
We fixed it. There's not a hole in your ship anymore.
For free as well.
Oh, can I go and inspect the hole?
Yes. I can't think of a reason why you couldn't.
She goes downstairs and is like, oh, so where is this hole?
In the storage area, on the right of the ship.
On the right of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to be pirates on the Grand Line?
Where the port is kept.
Oh, that is, to be fair. No, wait, we got port in the kitchen as well.
Oh, of course.
Okay, fine. We'll go in the cargo hold. So she goes in the cargo hold and has a look and says, "Oh, this is not a bad job at all. These planks you used, they seem to be half broken. Did you not find the planks in the chest with the pitch and the tar and the cloth and the nails?"
No, but I found that stuff.
Yes, but alongside it, I mean, you can see on the floor next to you because you brought the planks as well from there.
Well, it's just, I know how much you value privacy, and this isn't our boat. I wouldn't want to intrude by looking in things of yours that we weren't allowed to.
So where did you get these planks then?
But Eli got them.
Eli? Where did you get these planks, Eli?
Well, if you see that one, and I'll point at one, and you can see it's like, like the head of the bed usually has like bits that are sticking out that are unique, not unique to beds, but you can kind of tell it's a bed.
Yeah, like
the
a
end of
headboard, like
yeah,
the knobs
like
and
that.
stuff like that.
That was just like lying in one of the bedrooms.
How was it lying in one of the bedrooms?
Just across the floor.
It's just on the floor,
Was it?
It was attached to some other pieces of wood.
Was it in its form a bed when you noticed it on the floor?
Maybe.
Have you not seen a bed in a while because you're living in a hammock at the moment? So you think that's how you
I thought that was how you store wood,
I used the hammock as well.
She looks and sees Barty on the wall and says, "Oh yeah." Those were, as I'm sure you could tell, sturdy beds.
No, they came apart quite easily.
They shouldn't have.
Well, you might want to get a refund then.
Oh, well, they were pretty sturdy. I mean, they were my grandmother's beds, irreplaceable.
These are heirloom beds. So she'll go and take a look and be like, I don't even want to talk about it. We're going to have to get the ship repaired a second time, and I'm going to have to get a new bed.
Wait, we? Well, we're parting ways at the next island.
Yes, that's why I said I am.
Okay, good.
But no, you should carry the guilt of this some way.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, you
I
really
say
sound like it. Pray tell me, how did this all happen? You drove into some, you sailed into some coral.
Well, I like to think that I definitely avoided an interaction with the Navy and hit some coral.
I see. And are you particularly scared of the Navy at this point?
Not scared. Scared isn't the word I'd use.
And let me just ask about the coral slightly. On your pirate ship, what role are you going to be taking?
Captain?
Yeah, but like, what role on the ship are you taking?
Oh,
Well,
well,
what
I'm the
have you trained to
navigator.
be? You've trained to be a navigator, eh?
Yes, yeah.
Mm.
He's still in training.
I think this boy will forever be in training.
This is like our tutorial boat.
How
This has
dare
got
you.
like stabilizer wheels and everything.
Yeah, there's lots of interactions of like, did you know you can crouch if you press C? How dare you call the pumpkin patch a tutorial boat?
I didn't mean it like that, but you know, it's before we get our boat. I wouldn't want to crash our boat.
Oh, I'm sure we'll crash our bloater plenty.
Probably. Well, we still need to do the tutorial on how to fix it, on how to get it fixed.
Oh no, well, you seem to have fixed it pretty well, but you know, you need to make sure you've got the right stock in place. For
Okay, so planks.
I would say planks and pitch, yeah, or tar.
Okay, hammer and nails and a bed, spare bed.
No.
Bed.
I mean, once it's your ship, you can do whatever the fuck you want with it. But please use the planks next time.
Well, what's more expensive, a bed or planks?
Bed.
Oh, never mind then.
Because you know what a bed is made out of.
Planks.
Yeah.
So that's why we thought of it.
Well, you've got me there, Eli.
You see the logic. What is a bed if not a bed of planks?
A number of planks.
And I mean, it's not like it's well, I guess it might be used in the future when you pick up another passenger, but it wasn't. When I thought of it, it wasn't being used because the father is dead.
Just because the father is dead doesn't mean I'll never have passengers again.
Well, depends how the next few days go.
Oh Lord, please save me. And that will essentially close that day. You've got
I
a couple
do hope
more.
Barty wakes up.
Barty will wake up at some point, but he's in deep slumber. Over the next couple of days, nothing really happens. You do give me kind of a luck check to see whether or not you get another news coup over the next couple of days. You're aiming for like a 75 or higher.
Joe, do you want to do this one?
Sure. Luck is a D100, right? And there is an option. Is that? Yeah, there it is. Ooh, crickety clack. That is a 51.
So no news coup in the next couple of days. So you know,
No news coup is good news coup.
So you don't get any updated information. But over the next couple of days, it's been quite quiet time at sea. As I mentioned to kind of Eli and Rook at the start of the session, if you wanted to take some time, either talking to Alara Pumpkin about the Grand Line or studying the Pirates of the Coast book, you can do that. and I'll let you let me know what you want to do in those couple of days.
Ooh.
I think over those couple of days, I'll kind of look over Father Marcellus's book, and like on one of the days, just kind of wander up to where Alara is, kind of come find her, knock on the door or on whatever, and something wood she's near, and say, and kind of want to talk to her about that. We can play that now or later, depending on what others are doing.
Yeah. Well, what did other people want to do? And do you want that conversation to be out in the open, or do you want it to be with the Lara and yourself?
I think it would be out in the open, at least to start.
Okay. Rook and Pan. Oh, it's Rook and Pan. Eli and Pan. Anything you want to do particularly?
I'll just kind of spend it studying the pin thing,
Mhm.
the pin book.
I will obviously be mostly cooking for the crew, but when not cooking,
Yummy.
probably would be looking into or asking around about what happens with regards to like any past Navy lockdowns, like be like, oh, have you to the other passengers, not our current crew, be like, have you heard of something like this before? Like, does it usually, like, is it a pirate that breaks through it and then it falls apart, or do they get bored, or just basically trying to look at the history of things that have happened to a Navy blockade.
So you can talk to Castilla Bree. She's the only other person there, but there is Alara Pappas as well. You'll get kind of the information from them about the Navy blockade. This kind of stuff does happen occasionally. The Navy does take hard lines and such, but usually it's because there are individuals in the Navy that have like strong heads and they make decisions. The Navy isn't like an all-encompassing organization that makes all the decisions for everybody. It's one person has made some stupid decision and everybody has to kind of like deal with that. So in this case, that kind of sounds like what it is. And events like this have happened in the past, and which is why the pirates are kind of loved a little bit especially by the border islands. So the islands nearest the Grand Line, because they're the ones that deal mostly with trade. So not only do they trade with the pirates, but they kind of rely on pirates breaking through those kind of blockades to actually allow the trade to happen, even with just normal merchants. So this decision usually isn't looked upon favorably by the general populace, but the Navy will usually back it because it doesn't want to seem to be dissenting itself.
Okay.
Eli, can you give me an acumen roll for your studying of the books? The acumen or savvy, whichever you prefer.
Mine are both the same, so it doesn't really matter. 5.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you know what? These notes are pretty dense. So whilst you aren't really able to decipher kind of any useful information at the moment, you're trying to get used to kind of his style of writing, what these charts and graphs mean. And next time you roll, remind me, and you can roll with advantage. But this time you didn't really glean that much information about it.
Okay, fair. I can. The pins have like they're actual pins that you can like wear them on a badge, right? As a badge.
Yeah, they're enamel pins. They're backed.
So it's like that's all I can tell. It's like, oh, they have bags to them.
Wow. Cool. Jack, do you want to walk up to
Lara? Yeah. Lara.
Yes. How's it going?
Oh, very well. certainly better than these calm waters. It's not like they're as exciting, but they certainly they'll probably be better for the rest of the crew, and certainly your ship.
Oh, I mean, my only role here is ferrying people between islands. I mean, my life used to be a bit more exciting than this, but it's got its charms. I mean, you've seen what we've been doing over the last week or so. It's never a dull day, but sometimes it is what it is.
Well, you're obviously very knowledgeable about all things kind of piratey, especially kind of back in the day. You don't seem very old. When were you sailing?
Um, well, I mean, don't flatter me too much. I'm in my 60s, but I'm
No
I
way.
was
You look so young.
watch it, boy. Um, I was sailing around 30 years ago for a couple of years. 1 year on the Grand Line, but around 10 years in the kind of the blues.
Okay. So not quite as old as the father, but I don't know. Well, I've been looking over this book, and it's a shame that my knife is through it and can't read it for in its full regard. And obviously, Father Marcellus's memory isn't exactly what it used to be, and seems to only be a copy. But he remembers some of the names. I don't suppose any of them kind of ring familiar to you.
The names in this book, I've not looked through it, but I can take a look for you. Do any of these names look from? Where are the names that? Okay. Let me roll her a acumen check. So I know one of the names. Actually, Jack, can you roll me a D100 for me?
Yes. My favorite role. 22. Fuck.
Wait, 22.
Yeah.
Okay. Then, he would know. So I think I recognize the name of Rainer Tongrelo. Maybe. It's a very weird name, so kind of sticks in your mind a little bit. But it could be just because of the news coup. But I believe he was some sort of maybe a pirate, or maybe he was Revolutionary Army, something like that.
Any of the more piratey ones, the captains?
Let me leave it with me for a hot minute, and I'll see if I can rack my brain around. I'm just gonna try one more time, see if you should recognize any. Can you roll me another D100?
Yaha. 25?
No, unfortunately not. It's been a while since I thought of them. Some of the names are familiar, but I can't place them. Maybe I'll be able to recollect later, but for now I can't. Maybe after a couple of glasses of port or sherry or something.
Okay. Well,
Why'd you ask?
nothing. No reason. Just if you do remember anything about them, just can you come and find me?
Sure. Absolutely. Let me roll her deal. Okay, sounds good. Will do.
Rook kind of leaves and goes back, probably to like one of the empty rooms at the bottom of this room or something, and just starts sobbing.
Oh.
Oh, go give him a cuddle.
Eyeliner going everywhere. Ooh. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. So the second night of nothing really happening, he comes back to Rook and says, "Rook, I've been trying to remember any of these names, and one of them stands out. I think.
Which one?
Fontaine, maybe. I believe she was a captain on the ocean. Around the time I was. I didn't really interact with her very much, but I heard from.
She was a pirate.
I heard from dispatches, because you intercept Navy dispatches at certain points, that she was causing a right trouble for the Navy over on the Grand Line. I think. Wait, can you roll me just a D100 to see what else she remembers?
96. Oh yeah.
I think she said. I think the dispatches said she made it through Paradise and made it to the New World. That was where she was causing most of her trouble. So, I don't know. Maybe Father Marcellus made it the whole way to the New World or something. But it's a really difficult journey. It's a long way to travel.
Yeah, I mean that definitely tracks. But so to get to Paradise and then onto the New World, what must one do?
So to get to Paradise, we've discussed you have to go through Reverse Mountain.
Yeah.
And what that'll do is it'll set you on a journey island hopping. So, do you know much about log poses and eternal poses?
Yes. No.
Can you can you tell me what you know?
Well, I don't want to. I don't know anything about them.
Okay, there's no shame in that. Is this an open conversation, by the way? Is Rook and Eli here? Sorry, Eli and Pan.
I think he wouldn't like say it out in the open, but it wouldn't be like a door closed thing.
Okay, so it's a relatively quiet conversation. So anybody who kind of is around could theoretically join, but
yeah,
it's just a moment between you two, maybe. Look, as a navigator, you probably want to know this. But have you noticed how I use a compass around here and to kind of determine the direction we're going?
Yes.
A compass doesn't work on the Grand Line.
Really?
No, a compass will spin permanently on the Grand Line, and there's no way to determine by a compass north and south. You'd have to use it using your navigator nous, so just to instinctively know where north and south is. Now,
the stars?
Yeah, the stars. You know, any way to do that's fine. The main problem is that because there's no way to determine kind of directionality as you're traveling, it's really difficult to determine where islands are. So they don't use compasses in the Grand Line. They use something called a log pose. The reason the compass spins is because all the islands around are incredibly magnetic, and it messes with the compass's magnetism. You following me?
Yes.
So what a log pose will do is rather than looking at the north-south pole magnetism, it'll adjust to the next island's magnetism. So
I see, making you have to go island by island by force.
essentially,
Forcefully.
so when you start out at Reverse Mountain, you have to spend a certain amount of time around that. It's actually Reverse Mountain is kind of like an instant one, but some islands you'll have to spend some days on before the magnetism adjusts and then points you in the next direction of the next island.
Right.
So let's say you go to an island called Flim Flam. It might require you to stay on there for a week before the compass adjusts, the log pose adjusts, before it tells you to go to the next island. And that compass, that log pose will just point in the direction of the magnetism of the next island. So that's how navigating on the Grand Line works. And it gets more complicated as you go further, but I only was ever in Paradise. I actually never made it to the New World, but I've heard that stories that it's 3 times as complicated, essentially, in the New World. But when you get to the Grand Line, essentially, when you hop between islands, it's always going to point to the next island, right? Which means it sounds like there's only one direction to go. However, when you get to the Grand Line, from Reverse Mountain, it'll randomly point to one of the first 7 islands, and then that'll take you through on 7 different possible journeys you can go.
I see. So, you need a bit of luck as well.
Oh, you always need luck as a pirate. It's almost a prerequisite, to be honest.
Oh, no.
Barty stirs in his bed again.
I see.
There is one sort of saving grace. Is that there's another object you can get called an eternal pose. So, unlike the log pose, which, it adjusts to the magnetism of the next island, an eternal pose, regardless of where you are, will always point to that island's magnetism. The reason those things exist is for so that, like, the Navy can find the island, or merchants can find a specific island. The Navy bases are all magnetized up so that in eternal poses, so they can kind of travel between the Navy bases without getting lost, essentially.
What do these poses look like?
The eternal poses look like hourglasses with a compass inside.
I see.
And
what about the log pose? Is similar?
The log pose looks like kind of a wristwatch with a compass on it.
Oh, I see.
So this is an eternal pose, and this is a log pose.
Oh yeah.
You'll find that these are quite hard to come by, and you might have to get one before you travel up Reverse Mountain.
Okay. Certainly a log pose.
Certainly a log pose.
Well, that's certainly good to know, and I quite like that idea because I don't really fully know how to use a compass properly, so that works better. I'm gonna roll for something.
Yeah.
Highs or lows? Lows. Okay. Never mind.
Okay. Look. Traveling on the Grand Line can be dangerous, but so long as you keep your log pose safe, you should be all right.
What was it you were doing in Paradise? It sounds terribly dangerous.
Hold on a sec.
Ilara has the eternal pose, the log pose, and the T pose.
Oh, I know what it is.
I was going to
Sorry.
ask Alara about the pizza slice.
Yeah, no, it's sorry.
Pizza slice.
There was some actual just
You know, that
genuine
golden
screaming
thing.
coming outside my window, and I was like, "What the fuck is that?" But it's Fox is definitely fucking. So it's the worst noise in the world.
There's
It's
foxes.
awful.
I gotta see this.
Well, I was hoping it wasn't people getting murdered because that's what it sounds like. It's awful. Anyway,
Yeah.
So what were you asking now? Sorry.
No, when I rolled, I was asking whether to try and get some information about from her about the like golden pizza slice thing that we found in the box.
Oh, and you decided not to.
Yeah. I was going to play it off like, oh, I saw a pirate with this once, but too risky. The dice decided no.
Okay. So what did you ask her instead?
Is it incredibly dangerous? What kind of thing were you looking for?
Your classic reason to join the sea. I was looking for someone, but I never found them.
Oh.
They were my father. My father? Accent that my dad. But I never found him, and he was older than me. The likelihood is he's passed, so I've given up hope of that, unfortunately.
Oh, sorry to hear about that.
It's okay. Not everybody's dreams come true, but I hope the best for you. Is there anything in particular you're heading out to sea for? And usually people don't just head out for the fun of it.
Well, I hear such great stories about pirates, and they're talk of the town and talk of the tavern, and nobody ever talks about somebody who stays on one island for their whole life selling pins or that kind of thing. So I don't know. I wanted to be remembered.
I think that's a noble cause.
And in that, honor the memory of others.
That sounds nice. You know what will get you remembered the most? Everybody in the world will know your name if you became king of the pirates.
Yes, king of the pirates. That is the goal. Also, I mean, I could be remembered for crashing into coral a lot, but I'd rather not.
That's true. I don't think anybody would try and remember you for that. If anything, I would try and sponge your name from my memory if that was the case. I'd call up Mira Salan and see if I could find her magic potion.
It would have to be a lot of coral to be fully unmemorable in that case. But I thank you, Lara, and I do apologize. I know you've been through a lot while we've been on the boat.
Oh, no, you've made my journey incredibly interesting. I mean, I don't usually see this much when I'm sailing across the seas, so you must be, I don't know, either bad luck or you attract adventure. It's one of the two.
Well, I hope it's the second. I hope it's the second one, because if it's the first, we're not going to make good pirates. You said.
I didn't say you were going to make bad pirates.
I didn't say you're going to make good pirates.
I said that luck is required by any pirate. I didn't say it had to be good.
Oh, that's
it's
true.
recommended, but
I'd choose that one. Well, thank you,
no
Lara.
worries. So yeah, maybe try and find a log pose somewhere before you head out.
Where would we find one? Who would have one?
I mean, Port Town might have them. They're quite rare, actually, to be fair. But Stanhope's your best bet, and yeah, if I was gonna guess somewhere, I'd say Stanhope because it's the merchant town next to the Grand Line.
And what ballpark figure in terms of money?
Let's see if I can actually. I would say around 5 million berry.
Oh.
They're quite rare and they're quite, tough items.
I see.
Sorry, yeah, rare and tough items to make. That is.
To make one?
Well, I can't make one, but someone
try.
can make it. Right? It's an item which magnetizes to the next island you can see. It's not the easiest thing to design in the world.
Okay, well, that will certainly be cheaper, so I'll look into it.
Okay, boss.
Vice boss.
Yeah. Okay, vice boss. But yeah, try Stanhope. I'm sure there's something you can do there.
No, thank you.
If not,
if there's any more coral, we can go the other way this time.
Hey, look, you got me through it. My ship is in mostly one piece. What's it? One piece. So I'm relatively happy. And you know what? Now I'm just enjoying our last leg of the journey. To be honest.
Don't say too loud. Barty's in the next room.
Sorry, 2 legs. And with that, I think we'll close the session off. We didn't do loads of action this session, but you've already rolled what the encounters will be for next session.
Ooh.
So
I think just before we close the session, I'd just find Eli and just say, Eli, if you wanted the book, you could have just asked for it.
I didn't need the book. I just needed the stuff in it.
Well, just ask me next time.
Noted.
I'll just nod and walk away.
Tension forms within our hearty crew.
In the hearts of our hearty crew.
So the other thing I would want to mention to you as well is, we're several sessions away from getting to the Grand Line, so don't worry about kind of the speed of that.
What? That's
but
not next session?
It's next session, yeah. But before you get to the Grand Line, you have to have come up with a pirate crew name. I've mentioned to you this before, but this is definitely something you have to think about.
Oh yeah.
You don't have to do it immediately. You can actually tell me when you're on Reverse Mountain, and that's fine.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, we've rolled for the encounters. What I'm going to do is I'm going to prep for those next week. I am in a conference in Liverpool next week actually, but I'm back for this, so we're all good. So is everybody around? Hopefully, Andy's back.
I'd imagine so. Yeah, I'm around.
I should be.
Yeah, I should be.
I think I know originally I said there was a clash on Thursdays, but that's been moved back, so that's now like March, April, I think. But hopefully
Andy's
Wednesday classes have stopped by then.
Oh yes.
So.
Remember now. If not, we can look into like maybe Tuesdays or something. I don't know.
And other options, all good.
We'll discuss it when it gets kind of closer to crunch time there. Yeah, thank you very much, team. Appreciate you.
Sorry for being late, but thanks for the session.
No worries. Lovely having you, as
more,
always.
Backstory coming out today. It was nice.
Yes, I
role play.
I absolutely love it. I love the kind of these kind of role play sessions where you get to kind of just play out your characters and
the dice understand Rook more than I do. I think
the dice are so good for Rook.
Well, they're bad, and in being bad, they are good.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're so perfect for Rook is the thing. But yeah, there's definitely some intrigue flying around about kind of some of the backstories that you told, which were very, very interesting. And then there's been some secret chats in the background as well. So which are always very, very fun. So yes,
got a captain's quarters for a reason.
We got a captain's quarters for a reason. Exactly.
It was quite funny actually. The decision where Max gave me the 2 options is like Navy boat or jagged rocks, coral. Basically, danger sign, don't come here. I was like, do I have to discuss it? It's like, no, you can make a decision. I was like, we're going to the rocks.
I specifically said, I was like, because your captain isn't here, usually you'd be able to discuss it between the two of you. So if you want, you can have somebody else come in here to kind of talk it through. And he was like, nope, to the rocks.
Go back. There was no other option.
There was no other option. Yeah, it was Navy patrol boat was the other option. So,
You got to get into good habits, like you said.
That's true. Unless there's a Navy patrol boat and you want to attack and see if they've got stuff you want to take.
Oh, we should have just gone and like pretended we were heavily armed below deck.
Does that mean you're
There might
packing,
put
you're
more
packing
holes in
heat?
there, though. Yeah.
Yeah, launch the beds at them or something.
I mean, they are strong beds.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably
They were
stronger
strong.
than Cobbles. I like the image of Eli being like, "Okay, you weakling, get out of the way." Oh fuck, these are really steady.
Damn, these beds got hands. Yeah, that was funny. No, I love a session when you get to talk about your backstories. Obviously, you know, some of your backstories are a bit more straightforward than others, and it'll be interesting to see kind of what comes out or what people want to tell other people. You know, you've all got goals to head to the sea. None of those have been mentioned yet, really, other than maybe Rook's. So
I mean, he's very avoidant of it, isn't he? It's very generalist.
yes, that's true.
Idea of going out.
Yeah, that is
Hey.
true.
Oh, fucking Alara Pumpkin not funny at Dad. Oh my god, that broke me.
You know,
Dreams
not
don't always
everyone
come
can
true.
find their dad. You know?
Sorry.
Oh, my
Sorry.
bad. She's in her 60s. She's fine.
Telling the 19-year-old or 20-year-old, not everyone's dreams come true.
Yeah.
It's such a fucking bold move. Yeah, I was a pirate and I'm eternally sad now. No, she's fine.
She'll be alright. Maybe. Who knows?
Hell yeah. Well, thank you very much, Max.
No
Good
worries.
sesh.
I'm excited for next session. There's some more exposition. I might be able to give you some more news coup articles.
We need Barty back on the helm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bad luck seemed to be reversing for us when he was captain.
Oh yes, true. I mean, he was very good at the sailing.
He was, yeah.
Oh, so if any of you want to, some people have done it previously, but if any of you want to send me messages outside of this and just like be like, oh, can I see if I know anything about X or Y? Let me know. Other than that, I will see you next Thursday. Thanks for the session, guys.
Thank
you.
you.
Cheers.
See you next week.
Bye bye.
I hope moving. Oh, Joe's gone.
Oh,
I was
man,
gonna
man.
wish him well. In a bit. Bye.
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 I just remembered I need to for next time for sailing, make me roll the sailing checks before we do essentially at the end of the episode rather than the beginning of the episode, because I realized as we were doing it, I was like, oh, I could have just prepped 4 events much more thoroughly than 40 events much lighter. So
What do you mean? Oh, as in when we finish the island next time,
yeah,
we do it at the end.
Do the sailing events then, so then all I have to do is prepare 4 events, and I don't have to prepare 40 events. That was the problem I had today.
Yeah, that's fair. That's much less intense.
Yeah, I was also just not smart. So yeah, but yeah, fun session. But yeah, Rook spotted you, taking the book. Unfortunately, he rolled very, very well.
I thought he probably would.
Yeah, actually, you know what? There was only 1 in it.
Oh really? Oh wow.
So you almost got away with it, to be fair, but not on.
Not quite. Right, well, I'm going to head to bed because I'm tired.
No worries, buddy. I'll speak to you later. GG's.
See you tomorrow. Thank you.
No worries. Let me know what you do with next Saturday.
Yeah. I think I'll probably drive. It's just need to decide if it's Friday or Saturday now. I think I'll probably speak to Lara because I think that is our only day. So I'll see what she's planning. If she's got any plans or stuff, then make a decision.
Yeah, that's smart. Yeah, obviously we're happy with whatever you want to do. Just let us know so we can plan around it.
Yeah. Okie dokie.
All right.
Well,
Cheers, Dave. Thanks for playing
see you
Eli.
later. Thanks for PMing.
See you later.
See ya.